from an influence that is influencing so many now. See, we kept the bums and the bummerettes out. So if I could keep them out, you would get something in your head. And I think you did. But during that time, too, if you remember, it was in the 60s. And you had several new people to come to Spingarn from some school in Ohio, some sort of Springs. And anybody then, if you remember, you were in the area of the Great Society. President Johnson was then the president, and had money to spend, and anybody who could write up any sort of a program, present it, could get money and put it in the public schools. So we had several individuals to come from this particular school. All of them thought that we were too hard on the little Negro boys and girls. They thought you needed more freedom. My point was, freedom from what? What you want them to do and to learn. And some of them took it that you were graduate students. One case, the youngsters came to me about it. The teacher had told them, you don't have to come to class every day. You can go to the library. So the youngsters came back to the teacher with this point of view. You know, we just can't go to the hall. Somebody's going to stop you. And we'll be in trouble. So one or two came to me, and you wondered how I knew so much. I had the Spingarn Bureau of Investigation. Do a better job than the FBI. Which let me know that they understood certain things. They knew what they should have, and they wanted it to remain. So they asked me just to come up to their classroom one day. I said, all right, just what a day or so. I said, nobody will ever know who told me where it came from. I went up to that classroom. This teacher was sitting behind the desk, feet on the desk. So, I wouldn't divulge that. So I raised such a hullabaloo over it that it frightened the youngsters against this teacher. And I told them, as long as you stay in this building, I don't want you to sit down, put your feet on the desk, and let the students look at the soles of your feet. You should be on them trying to get something over to them. If you cannot do any better than that, I don't need you. He got the message. And I had another one who believed every Friday came to me with a list of speakers for his classes. So I stopped to look at it one day. I said, fella, every Friday you come to me with a list of, what do you do? And he said, you're not going to approve the list? I said, no. I said, I'll check your record. And remember, I know what's going on in that class. You don't see me. But I know what's going on. I've already been informed. I have been told. That's right. That's right. So he said to me, he said, "You're not going to approve the list?" I said, "No." "If you notice, I have a member of the Board of Education coming." I said, "So?" "He has the right to come." I said, "No, he doesn't. Unless I want him." He's on the Board of Education to set policy. I run this building. Well, I'm going down and tell him, I said, "I wish you would. I want you to tell him that I don't want him here and to give me a call. And I'm going to tell him how little you do and that I don't need your services anymore." I had checked the record. See, you checked out in the afternoon. He had not checked out. And I also found my agents that he left the room. So I wanted to know from him what good was he to the students. And I said, "Well, you better look for another job for next year." So he left. Then I had another one. That's right, there was about 5 of them all together. This little lady came to me one day. In fact, she didn't come to me. I had to send for her. Somebody went into her room. She was teaching a class, had a pocketbook on the desk. One little boy ran in and grabbed her pocketbook. The other one was waiting outside. They ran down the hall, out the building. And it just happened, one of the teachers on duty at that time, Mr. Cobbs, came out of the room and he saw her. He recognized them, and it just so happened that I was coming from the second floor going downstairs, and I heard the door close going outside in the court. And I happened to look down out the window, and I saw the 2 little brats. Had the pocketbook going through it. They took the money and stuff out and threw the pocketbook. I happened to look up and saw me.
Are they here now? Are they here?
So
They dropped dead.
I sent for the little lady and told her we had her pocketbook, and I wanted her to identify the 2 individuals, the 2 that Mr. Cobbs chased and the 2 that I saw. I knew in cafeteria period when they came to lunch, and I had her to stand in the kitchen section and look through the door. And when they got up to get the lunch at the register to check out, I said, "Boys, at the register and the one behind you, aren't they the 2 boys that came in your room and took your pocketbook?" She looked at me and said, "No, they're not the 2. I said, "Are you sure?" "Yes, they're not the 2. I said, "Look, those are the 2 I saw and Mr. Cobb saw." Now, you may not want to admit it, but all you're doing is setting the stage for something. And it's happening right now. People will see things they're afraid to identify. And that's why some of you are afraid to go out at night. took it up in faculty meeting and told them then what would happen. It just didn't happen then, but it's happening now. It's happening now. Something else I want to call to your attention. You know, most of you took biology at school. Some took chemistry, some took physics. But when you took your biology, and of course I taught biology too, we found in nature two sexes, one male and one female. And all the organisms, you find that to be true. Now, it happens in some plants, however, that two sex organs may be found on the same plant, and sometimes in the same flower. There are others, one sex is on one plant, one on another. It's true in many apples, it's true in grapes. It's true in the holly plant. I have a lot of holly plants growing on my place. But they do not bear red berries. Why? Because they're male plants. And you got to have a male plant and a female plant to get the flower and get the berry. And you found in biology, even in the lower organisms, protozoa, those organisms could reproduce themselves by dividing. But every now and then you find two fusing together, exchanging nuclei, nuclear material. Why? To strengthen the organism. Now, why is it, as we go through the phylum and get up to man, they want a third sex? In nature, you know, there's only two. And some people right here in this town and in this nation's capital. When I was a youngster, they had a name for them. They called them faggots.
Speak, brother, speak. We all do.
Now they dignified it.
The gay.
They are gay. Listen.
Equal rights.
And they want the same rights. They have normal rights anyway. But they want the same discretion to use that you have. They want the same domestic setup that you have. And in the district, you know, those people can adopt children. Of course, you know how they're going to raise them. Some places, you cannot do it. And we have some do-gooders in the world, you know. We had a plan. The do-gooders stop prayer in the public school. The do-gooders want now to set up families. And I know of a case, two men, a family, now going to the father, where would the mother be? And in some school systems, they teach that time around.
New York.
The chancellor's gone now.
Want youngsters to understand at an early age. Oh, in Fairfax County, publishing paper and stuff on it. Want the youngsters to read it. Came in the library, Spingarn, I sent them right down to the boiler room, throw them in the trash. And the principal had to write this paper. He wants you to read. He doesn't want you to read. But you see, you got the do-gooders. They want to help you. And some people have reached the point that they want to go out and do anything they want to do as it needs, and they get it. Then want you to turn over heaven and earth to help them. They know, and you know, that some viruses you cannot control. And that's one of them. You try to control the one that gives you a cold. You still have one. Can't do a darn thing about it. And to go back a little further, when you were in school, we had the law day. And I guess then you wonder why we had it. But now you can figure it out. Remember, our laws are based upon what we call morality. And it just so happens that morality is tied up with the Ten Commandments. Most courthouses, they have it on the wall. You break one, you go to jail. The Supreme Court has it down there too. Some people want that even taken out of the buildings. Government, it's religion. No. Morality is one thing. You can call it whatever you want to, but it still holds those Ten Commandments. And you advise not to break one. And how could it be? Some of these ducks would have you to believe to get rid of one of the commandments so they can have what they want. And I want you to stand up against it. The Ten Commandments are listed in 2 chapters in the Bible. In 4. Those are the laws of morality. And some people, you know, you are not to covet a man's wife, boy child, girl child, or any one of his animals. But don't you know some people do it? I don't know how we're going to rank them. You see in the papers every now and then. Oh, in Virginia and horse country, the horses are molested. You saw it over here in Brentwood. Little boys. Are molested. And some disappear and you never see them again. Grown men, feeble-minded, homosexual, everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be very careful. When you're dealing what you think and think straight. Because you have some people up there that will want you to believe otherwise. And they paint pictures to you that will make you want to help somebody to do something wrong. And I was so happy the other day when I read the paper and just shot the police officer in Virginia. And he was sent to the electric chair. And you get it in Virginia. You send them a message. The district, no, they don't want the electric chair. But what do? Send somebody for 40 years, you clothe them, feed them, and all they do is sit down and look at television and read law books. Yes. And that's what they do. Face facts. Face them. We raised you that way. I had you in school that way to think straight. And I believe most of you do it. Raise your families like they should be raised. Happy, ladies and gentlemen, that we could get together on your 25th. Best wishes to you, long life, and live right. And I want you to keep in mind something that Dr. Mays said. I believe success in your life depends upon you, your faith, your willpower, and the integrity of your soul. Please follow through.
More.
See, I may be crippled, but I can still think.
Let's give Dr. Williams a nice round of applause. Thank you. We are also fortunate to have two of our former staff members with us this evening, Mrs. Eugene and Miss Wade. Would you please come forward?
Miss Wade, she told my mother and my father. She was like a counselor.
On behalf of the class of 1968, we would like to present to you a certificate of appreciation, and the certificate states, this certificate has been awarded to Josephine S. Wade in appreciation of service for supporting the 25th reunion of the class of 1968 of Joel Elias Spingarn Senior High School, given this 23rd day of October 1993. We would also like to present massages in your honor.
While I'm waiting for mine, I'd like to say a few things to you. I still, even though I have progressed in years, my mouth still goes. You probably can remember that. I would like to say that life goes on, and that 3 weeks ago, my class, high school class, celebrated its 60th anniversary. The class of 1933 from Dunbar High School. Of course. At my age, there wasn't any other high school for you to go to. Spingarn had not been invented. One of the things I said to one of you tonight was that I always had a special fondness for this class, though you may not have been able to discern it. You know, I never minded when you came in the office and said, "Miss Wade, why are you so mean?" And I was only mean because I wanted you to get everything. Of course, you also got upset because I didn't mind, because if you told me I was mean, I said evil and ornery too. Now, what do you want? But I always had a special fondness for this class because my daughter graduated in 1968 from high school from Western. And as I said to, I beg your pardon? As I said to a young man tonight, that on the night that you graduated, I had gone at 6 to Western for Phyllis's graduation and rushed over to Spingarn because they couldn't miss your graduation either. Your faces have come back to me. I couldn't find my yearbook to look and see. Some of you have changed, some of you haven't. I realize how young some of you were because you had not finished your growth and you have gotten taller. I really would like to know what happened to you because you were in a very special class, what with Washington Tech and Federal City College opening. And if you remember, Federal City and Washington Tech made it possible for so many of you to go to schools when you couldn't go there. Like there were 6 of you who went to the University of Maine, and 5 of you finished. I can't remember who you were, excuse me. I saw one of you out of this class who went to Washington Tech in the Rochester airport. His name was Clifton. That's all I can remember at this point. Clifton Young? Okay, where is he's not here. I was looking for it, but I remember him. His girlfriend was one of those who went to the University of Maine. Now, one of you said you wrote me a letter. Did I answer? If I didn't, I meant to. Several of you have made me very happy when you have come up to say, "I remember when you told me such and such, and it was true." And through the years, I have always said, if you ever find out that I told you anything wrong, you can call me from anywhere in the United States and say, Miss Wade, you were wrong. It didn't happen like that. Nobody has called me yet. And I still say, if you're going to do that, though since I've retired, I've learned to stay in bed till 7 o'clock. But I used to always get up at 6. Call me after 6 and before 10. You look good. I had a birthday 2 weeks ago. And I'm so old, I was going around and I kept adding another year to it, and I finally went to the family Bible and said, "Girl, you aren't that old yet, it's next year." But I am glad to see you. I only have one thing to say. A number of you have done very well about keeping this weight down. Do that and avoid often, because when it hits you in the knees, it's horrible. I've got my cane there under the table, but seeing you has made me feel so good that I left it over there, and I think I'll be able to get back to it.
Dr. Williams and Mrs. Wade have said it all, so I will be very brief. But I want to congratulate you for staying together, and I hope you will continue this feeling of wanting to continue the bonds that you made in high school as the years go by. I appreciate the fact that you think of us and you still want us to be here. And you do us proud by your achievements, the way you look prosperous, you're happy, and we are happy to have had a small part in what you have become. Thank you again. Congratulations.
Also would like to present Dr. Williams with a certificate and a corsage. A boutonniere.
His certificate reads, Certificate of Appreciation. This certificate has been awarded to Dr. Purvis J Williams in appreciation of service for supporting the 25th reunion of the class of 1968 of Joel Elias Spingarn Senior High School, given this 23rd day of October, 1993.
Now at this time I would like to introduce to you the class of 1968 reunion committee. These people have really worked hard to put this together. As I call your name, would you please come forward? First, we have Jackie Hunter, who's been so gracious in helping to pin on corsages. Thank you, Jackie. Linda Williams, would you please come, committee, so we won't have to linger here. Monica Lewis, Moselle Smith, Dora Payne, Alberta Hall. Yo! Also, we would like to present a corsage to Mrs. Williams. And yours truly, Deborah Conway Slater. I think it would be appropriate at this time on behalf of the committee to thank our spouse, our children, and family and friends alike who have been patient with us as we have worked hard, so hard in preparation for this reunion. Thank you, committee. I could not have done it without you. Because of your efforts in supporting this celebration, we will be able to present to Spingarn a a check in the amount of $500. These funds will be allocated in the school's computer lab. I spoke with Dr. Elizabeth Smith, who is the principal there, and she expressed the need and desire for more machinery and things of that nature, and we told her we would be willing to do it. On the count of 3, we will sing. I will start it off, and please join in. 1, 2, 3.
Give me a note.
Alma mater. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go. Okay. Spingarn High, we come to you. Our teacher, proud
And true.
Come on.
All the knowledge you give to help us see us through. The days and months and years ahead will lead us we should be. We thank you for your guiding hand and real fraternity. Our dear, so strong and so serene.
Y'all do better than that.
We'll never fail to stand and cheer
The gold and the green. Thank you. Very good. You couldn't sing it in 68, you still can't sing it now. There is also a beautiful anniversary cake depicting our 25th year on the table by the speakers there. So please be sure to visit the table and indulge. There are no calories in it for all of those watching their waistline. All of the pounds were left at the bakery in the oven. Before I turn the microphone over to Monica, who chaired the reunion committee, I wish to thank again everyone for coming, sharing, and being a part of this, our 25th high school reunion. Thank you.